Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer on how to seamlessly plan your short-term beach getaway down in the Bournemouth, Christchurch, and pooled areas. I mean, if you've ever dreamed of having your very own little slice of the British coastline, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
Rather than suffering through the hassle of a poorly planned beach trip, you know the drill, arriving to find zero shelter, freezing in the wind, or realizing the surf is just completely flat, we're going to use the official local booking systems and forecasting tools as our ultimate solution. We're basically taking all the guesswork right out of the equation so you can just focus on, enjoying the coast.
So, here is your step-by-step checklist for the trip. First up, securing your beach hut. Then, costs and hire options. Third, understanding the weather. Fourth, checking the surf. And finally, sea safety essentials.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, securing your beach hut, specifically booking logistics and methods. The local council has actually made booking pretty straightforward, provided you know the rules. You've got two main methods to get your short-term hut secured. You can either call their dedicated line during standard daytime hours or use the official online booking system. But hey, pay really close attention to this pro tip. If you are returning to the online system for the first time since before January 2025, the software was updated. That means you literally must create a brand new account to store your details. Definitely don't let that catch you off guard when you're rushing to book that sunny weekend getaway.
Moving right along to number 2, costs and hire options. Finding your ideal price tier.
Now, what's kind of wild here is how much the pricing tiers vary depending on exactly what you're planning. While a massive fixed-period seasonal hire for the entire spring and summer can cost upwards of £9,199, look at the bottom of the scale. A simple $25 to $30 daily walk-in rate is just a fantastic hack for a spontaneous short stay. Just keep in mind that this daily hire is walk-in only at the Tourist Information Center down at Bournemouth Pier Approach, and that's for the Bournemouth East and West beaches. Oh, and for a quick weekend escape, a weekly hire starting at £119 is actually a really affordable way to establish your beachfront home base.
But hold on, before you pack your bags and rush off to your newly rented hut, you really need to keep in mind these crucial new rules hiding out in the terms and conditions. First up, pre-installed gas cooking equipment is no longer provided, so you absolutely must bring your own safety-compliant portable stove if you want to avoid drinking cold tea. And second, whatever you do, don't miss that strict 5 p.m. queue return deadline on your final Friday. Seriously, you don't want your relaxing weekend ending with a massive headache.
Okay, so you've got your home base secured for your short stay. Awesome. But to truly optimize this trip, we need to look up at the sky. We're going to translate the data from the Met Office for places like Southbourne Beach, just to see what you're really walking into.
Let's dive into Part 3, understanding the weather, going beyond the basic forecast. To put this into perspective, even on a day where the official highs reach a really lovely 19 degrees Celsius, factors like ocean humidity and coastal winds mean the maximum feels like temperature might only hit a much cooler 14 degrees. And trust me, when you're just sitting still at your beach hut, 14 degrees feels vastly different than 19.
And this perfectly highlights the contrast of a typical UK beach day. One moment you're enjoying beautiful sunny intervals, but the next, you might be contending with 41-mile-per-hour wind gusts. According to the Met Office, winds at that speed can literally affect your balance and blow you right off course. This is exactly why having that beach hut to retreat into is an absolute game-changer.
Beyond just temperature and wind, the data reveals a few other essential elements you really need to plan for. We often see a high UV index that requires finding shade midday, which, again, is where your hut comes in incredibly handy. Combine that with moderate grass pollen levels and very good visibility stretching up to 30 kilometers, perfect for looking out over the water toward the Isle of Wight. All right, moving on to Section 4, checking the surf. We'll look at the conditions, specifically at Southbourne.
So, for the water enthusiasts out there, the surf data shows that the absolute ideal setup for this beach and groin break is a southwest swell mixing with north offshore winds. And let's talk about the temperature for a second. With sea temperatures currently hovering around 16 degrees Celsius, that's about 61 degrees Fahrenheit, the experts highly recommend packing a good quality spring wetsuit and some neoprene boots. You can probably leave the wetsuit gloves at home, but definitely protect your core and your feet.
Now, you do need to manage your expectations a bit because Southbourne is notoriously inconsistent. Even during the peak winter month of January, the historical data shows you're only going to find clean, perfectly surfable waves about 3% of the time. Yeah, 3%. Roughly 39% of the time, it's completely blown out by onshore winds, and 58% of the time, it's just too small. So hey, enjoy the water for what it is. Let's shift gears for number 5. Sea safety essentials. Knowing the risks. This is absolutely crucial. The Met Office specifically warns that this particular stretch of beach carries a high risk of rip currents, because these waves can frequently be much larger and way more powerful than they appear from the shoreline. Novices really need to exercise extreme caution. Honestly, stick to the shoreline unless you've got a qualified instructor out there with you.
But if the worst happens and you do find yourself caught in one of those rip currents, the Royal National Lifeboat Institution's life-saving advice is brilliantly simple. Float to live. You have to fight your natural instinct to thrash around or swim against the current. Just lean back, extend your arms and legs, and literally just float until you can control your breathing. Then you can call for help or swim parallel to the shore.
Of course, to prevent getting into trouble in the first place, always run through a quick pre-water safety checklist. Before you even set foot in the water, utilize some fantastic local resources. First, check the live Southbourne webcam for a quick visual. Second, review the real-time wave and temperature data from the Boscombe buoy. And finally, this is a big one, always note the high and low tide times for Christchurch, because those dictate exactly how the water moves along this beach.
So there you have it. You now have the ultimate data-backed blueprint. You know exactly how to master the short-term booking system, maybe even snagging that 25 daily walk-in rate. You know how to outsmart those tricky feels-like temperatures, and you've got the tools to navigate the surf safely. But it does make you wonder, right? With our coastlines becoming more unpredictable every single year, how will coastal planning and microclimate forecasting have to evolve to save our classic beach holidays? Until next time, stay safe and have an amazing time on the coast.